When I said send help, I meant it. Let's get our notes out because that is very important. It started on September 8th. It is now September 25th. How long has this been in primary? There it is. We are sanitizing all of our equipment, and I'm using my spray bottle with Star San, sanitize everything. I am going to go ahead and sanitize our spattle because I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to need it today. So, steps forward, we're going to crack the lid open on this. We're going to take a gravity reading, and if we like what we see, that means it'll be time to add some things to our brew. It smells like a mead. If you don't know what a mead smells like, make one. And whenever you smell, that's what a mead's supposed to smell like, unless it spoils or something, which in that case, it is not what a mead is supposed to smell like. I don't know how to explain it. It's very floral. Oh, boys and girls, not quite done yet. Sitting at 1.018. That's good enough for me. Now that we got our reading, what's the alcohol percentage? Right there. Here comes the hard part. I have to incorporate our pumpkin into here without making a huge fucking mess. I think I'm just gonna crack open the top, use the spoon part of the spattle, and kind of goop it in there, and then I'll stir it around. We're adding 2 pounds, 12 ounces, otherwise known as a big can and a small can of pure pumpkin puree. I said in episode 1, it was very important that we discussed that, of why we're using pumpkin puree or just 100% pure pumpkin. Well, the answer to that is pretty simple. They have another option labeled right here that's got a lot of other stuff in there, starches and everything like thickening agents. You do not want to add that to a mead. So we're going to open both these cans, and I'm going to try to come up with a relatively easy way to get the pumpkin into the fermenter, because I'm going to let this pumpkin sit. My intention is 2 weeks. Glorious canned pumpkin puree, which should give this a very interesting color. Comes the hard part, getting our pumpkin into our fermenter without making a huge mess. But I don't think there's any way possible to do that. So I'm just going to put it in, try to be as careful as I can. I don't want to splash or slosh. And the one thing about pumpkin is it has very little sugar, so this shouldn't do anything for fermentation. Now, the one big problem I'm going to have, sediment. That's why I'm adding this in before racking at all. When I rack off of this, I'm going to lose a lot of product just due to floaties and sediment and stuff like that. This may not have been a good idea. Who are we kidding? We knew it wasn't a good idea, but we did it anyway. Now it looks absolutely horrendously disgusting. This may have been a bad idea, but now we're going to stir and incorporate the pumpkin. Yeah, the amount of sediment that's going to come out of this is going to be ridiculous. I don't even know how much of this is going to be salvageable. It smells nothing like pumpkin pie, but that's okay. It's filled to the brim. Now it's going to get set off to the side, and it's all going to separate. We might stir it up a little bit more just to get those flavors into it, but set it off to the side back here, forget about it, and we'll see it. And to me, it'll be maybe like a week or two. To you, it's going to be like 2 seconds, so I'll see it then. The pumpkin has been on our mead for 4 days. At day 2, it smelled exactly like a pumpkin pie because I didn't film it, but we put 10 allspice berries, stick of cinnamon, 1 clove, and I actually had some fresh ginger in my fridge that I had forgotten about, so I sliced some slithers of ginger. You can see one, and you ain't gonna be able to see it. Day 2 smelled just like pumpkin pie. I was very excited. Day 3 did not smell like pumpkin pie anymore. Pumpkin is very finicky. I put way too much pumpkin in a 1-gallon batch, so 4 days on almost 3 pounds of pumpkin is more than enough to get the pumpkin flavor we're looking for. But now, as you can see here, I have the problem of how the hell am I going to get this into a different cardboard? So the smell that I'm smelling, and if you make this, you're definitely going to smell it. 100% you're going to smell it. It's just the way it is. But the smell that I'm smelling is actually the pumpkin flesh breaking down. So there shouldn't be much fermentation. And in pumpkin, there's not much sugar. It shouldn't have added anything. So I think what we're seeing here is off-gassing. And the CO2, the gases are pushing the pumpkin solids up. It went into the airlock. You can clearly see. So like I said, 4 days on pumpkin, more than enough. How are we going to get it out of here? I have no idea. Then there was this guy. Why did I not use pectic enzyme? So let's talk about it. Pumpkin is relatively low in pectin. For those of you that do not know, fruits high in pectin, I'll list right here because I don't know them off the top of my head. Those, for fruit wines, you would want to use pectic enzyme if you are fermenting a fruit that's high in pectin. This just breaks down those proteins. I think it's proteins. Hopefully it is. Breaks those compounds down so you get rid of the haze. The haze that we're going to see in this, when I rack this, the haze you're going to see is not from pectin, it's from starch. Using pectic enzyme for pumpkin is like bringing scissors to a sword fight. The number one thing that's going to get those solids out of suspension is time and gravity. How are we going to get the majority of the liquid out and leave the sludge behind? I've used this tool of mine. I can't tell you how many times I've used it in my brewing since I bought it. This gadget is a must-have. We're using the rumble jar again. So this, I think it's 200 micron. This is meant for coffee. So you would roughly grind up coffee grounds, put it into this. There is a silicone lid that sits on the top of this, and this actually goes straight into a mason jar, a half-gallon mason jar for cold brew coffee. We want to keep the solids out. We want a clean transfer of liquid off the sludge. We want less waste, because if I just stick my auto siphon straight into this,
Bumkus done.
it's gonna clog. It's gonna be a nightmare. I don't know how this is going to go, but my plan is to use our rumble jar, stick this down into the fermenter. As you can see, it's the right height. I guess I could put a link for this because I'm trying to become an Amazon associate. Don't know how to do that, so if I do know how to do it, I will link it in the video description below. If you want to purchase one of these, you can use the link down in the description of this video. Gives me a small, well, right now it doesn't, but I'm trying to get to the point where it'll give me a small commission on it with no additional cost to you. Just make sure if you're going to use this for racking, you want to get the one that's meant for the half-gallon mason jar. They have another size which is meant for the quart mason jar. I think it's a quart, whatever, the smaller size. That one would be good for infusing like herbs and spices into your must. This mainly for racking. I have used this to infuse our s'mores mead with chocolate. So my plan is this will go down into the fermenter, auto siphon down into there. Filter holds all the pumpkin solids out of our auto siphon, going into secondary. Is it going to hold up back all these solids? No. It's going to be cloudy whenever we transfer, but my goal is to get the maximum amount of fluid volume I can. There's going to be, even with the first racking, there's going to be so much sediment that falls out of suspension in this thing. So my plan is we're going to step down. This is a 1.4 gallon fermenter. We're going to step down regular old 1 gallon carboy. We're going to let it clear out and everything. Then we're going to rack to a 1 gallon wide mouth. We're going to back sweeten and we're going to spice. The problem that I'm going to have with that is after you back sweeten, if you back sweeten with honey and then you pasteurize, you're going to have sediment. You're going to have solids fall out of suspension from the honey. It's just going to happen. You got to account for that loss. All we're doing is we're going from point A to point B to start clarification. I'm going to sanitize everything, put a time lapse on, and I'll let you know how it went in a couple seconds. So. Okay, so I had to stop the time lapse for a brief second because I got to show you what the setup actually looks like and what I'm looking at and hoping that this works. So I'll spin you around, take a look at it. So here is our setup, and as you saw me in the time lapse, I put our rumble jar down into the must, and you can see it's perfectly holding the solids out of the liquid. So now it's not perfect. There will be things that get through, but we're going to put our siphon directly into the rumble jar, down into this, and see how much we can get out. And back to the time lapse. I'm never doing this again. So I'm changing the name of this batch from Pumpkin Pie Mead to the fucking Disaster Mead. That's it. That is all I got. Half gallon. I'm gonna tell you, that smells fucking horrible. Almost swampish, but that should dissipate because that's the pumpkin breaking down, and now it's off the pumpkin for the most part. Probably lose about an inch out of this. but then I'll have to back sweeten, which will take up more volume. And then I need to spice, but I don't want to add the spices now. I want to wait till it gets almost clear, rack it off, back sweeten it, then rack it back into the 1 gallon, because whatever I lose, I should gain back with the volume I used to back sweeten. If you can't tell, I'm kind of bummed, but I can tell you this much. I am never fermenting pumpkin ever again. Pumpkin needs to stay where it belongs, in a pie crust. Generally, I can see where things are going and be like, yeah, it's going to be good at no, absolutely not. Hopefully with some spices and sweetness, it'll change, but I'm not even taking a taste of that. That's how good it smells. You don't want to do this, and I'll show you why. The mess that I have to clean up now from trying to get the mead. I'll just show you. I'll lay it out on the table. You'll see. This is where I just finally gave up. I just gave up. I tried everything. I tried running it through this. This could not keep up with the flow of the siphon. I tried running it through the actual spout spigot. Didn't work. There's still a lot of fluid in there. That's where it's staying because I can't get it out without oxidizing. And do not do this. If you value your life, do not do this. I'm gonna go do dishes. I'll see you for part 3. If there is a part 3 for this recipe, because it's fucking terrible. I need to grab all the dishes that I gotta do. I gotta quit filming. I need to grab the dishes to go do the dishes. I'll see you in a couple days. Hopefully with better news.